Get to the chopper now! So we live in an absolutely crazy time where we can pay like $9 freaking and having the option for buying an RC car that is quite good and enjoyable. However, in this video we're going to be taking a close look at the Action RC car, but you can buy all kinds of models from AliExpress. We have this crazy time now that we can pay like around like $9, $10, $15, depending how deep you want to go into this when it comes to the financial part, but we have all kinds of very cool solutions. The cheaper ones, like the one I'm having here in the video, will need his own batteries, so it can be in a very expensive situation here. And it's also maybe recommendable to get myself rechargeable batteries in the future. That would be so much more convenient than keep buying them. And let's be honest, it's not good for the environment when keep using batteries like crazy. So when it comes to batteries, we also have to like different kind of quality batteries. But let's take a close look at the product itself. We need to do a little bit of assembly with this product. You can see the instruction manual on the box. It's quite convenient. So we're going to be needing 5 AAA batteries, 2 for the remote, 3 for the RC car itself. So that's the thing that we're going to be doing. There is no screwdriver inside. So let's open it up and let's take a close look inside. However, these things are sometimes in hell to open up, but this is going to be quite easy. I love the presentation of the packaging itself, where the car had been put on a very nice background. And it's absolutely nuts just to see what they can actually make for this couple of dollars you're paying for it. And it looks quite decent and has like a very nice weight to it. But let's open it up and let's see if we can get into the remote and take a close look at the device itself. In here we have the manual that explains how to connect, how to put the batteries in again, more like an extended manual. Let's see if we can open it up. There we go. And the import, or the person here in my country who imported it to the country or the Netherlands. But okay, so let's see the control itself. I've noticed with these cheaper devices that most of them have these basic controls, on and off switch, and there is nothing fancy here. The downside to this configuration is already noticed in previous testing, is that we cannot do any acceleration or like say have this throttle. Let's open it up and let's see what we're getting when it comes to the batteries. Let's open up let's see, how did I even remove this car? Ooh, the wheels looks nice. No, I don't want to destroy the packaging. I think it's fun to keep them. Alright, so let's see. And ooh, man, this thing weighs nicely. And one of the things I do love is the way how the wheels look. They are like with very thick, let's say, more like a sticky rubber compound. So when you're having like a very good surface, this thing will have absolutely an amazing grip. So that's going to be they're just going to be fun. On and off switch, let's put it on off and let's open it all up, because we need to put the batteries in. Just need a Phillips screwdriver, don't need to be a very big one, because the screws are quite tiny, so we only need to remove one single screw, and then we need to be sliding out the body part. We need to be very careful, with the simple reason because the plastic can break off if you're going to be putting too much or the wrong force on it. So opening up, you can just see in here having the battery compartment, and the way how they constructed it is quite genius. So this is a quite difficult one to actually like remove, but that's a good thing because otherwise the batteries will pop up if you're going to be like bumping or doing like some crazy stuff with this. Okay, so let's push in the batteries and let's see how this thing works. Take consideration depending on what kind of batteries do of the battery life, and I do wonder if a car like this will have a lot of fun with many hours to race, because when it comes to the batteries in general, I personally prefer to have a rechargeable battery or just a lithium battery or a LiPo battery in the inside. That makes it so much more convenient. We're going to be needing 2 of them in the remote, and always make sure everything has been turned off, particularly when it comes to the RC car itself. Then let's click it back in. The LEDs has been turned on, or at least the car has been turned on, and you can see it looks kind of cool. The LEDs don't shine directly through the lenses of the front. They're kind of in the inside, but the overall quality of it, let's say the lighter feature, is quite good. So I'll give you an example. In the dark, the LEDs are just perfect. The camera picks it up, and yeah, the overall lighter feature of this is just great. And if you're just going to be driving around in the dark, it looks absolutely cool. About driving, so that's another thing. I've been messing around with this tiny car, and it's a lot of fun. However, oh man, this thing has some serious power in the inside. I just messing around on the table, and when you're just pressing the button, you can see it basically like lifts away, and it's, man, look at this. Whoa, this thing goes all places, and that's the downside to this. So where we don't have any throttle, you cannot like adjust the power of the electric engine that is inside of this thing. I'll give you an example. So when you're going to be pushing it left or right, it very quickly turns left or right, and that is an issue. So what you need to do is like very carefully pressing the buttons, and you're going to be having these bursts of, let's say, power, and it's going to be like instantly within a couple of seconds to 100%. The rubberized wheels have a crazy grip, so on the table or a very nice surface, but because of the different kind of rubber they're using in different cars, and this is a very soft, let's say, based compound, but is great for, let's say, overall control and acceleration. I did notice that they are getting really filthy, so we have these very nice wet cleaning cloth from the Action stores. They are super convenient. It was just like this little fly like bothering me, but these things are super convenient. You can just clean it up, and I recommend doing it every single time, otherwise it's going to be clogged up and we have issues. And of course it will have a less performance when it comes to, let's say, the driving around. But man, what a fun this thing is, but it is quite difficult to control. But how is it when you're actually going to be playing on a bigger surface? My table, of course, was way too small. And when you're looking at it now, this is like a lot of fun to drive around, and you can just reach the maximum power or the speed of this tiny car. I'm just flabbergasted how much power we're having with just a couple of freaking batteries. I do wonder how long I can actually do this, simply with the reason because you're looking at this, it's just crazy. Ooh, I can even turn a 180 fairly easy. Whoop, bumping into everything. And that's the biggest problem I'm having with this car. Like, you're bumping into all kinds of stuff because driving of acceleration and braking, but also when it comes to the steering left or right, it's just a huge challenge. And the simple reason is also when it comes to this, it's just because there is no, let's say, throttle. There is no way. There's like one push, go all out, and that is like killing a little bit of the fun when it comes to that. So at this point, it's just fun to drive around up and down the road and just messing around. But if you want to be doing an, let's say, a race with somebody, it's going to be quite difficult. The conclusion is, for the $9 I've paid for this, oh man, it's such a fun and blast to the past with these things. And if you're looking at it, all of this time I've been not doing anything with RC cars, how much fun you're getting for like a couple of dollars. And there are so many different devices out there. However, these cheap devices, I'm not a big fan when it comes to, let's say, these controls where you're just going and having micro switch, because you cannot have any more fun. You have no, let's say, you have less overall control over the device. So it's going to be high speeding forward, backward, left, right, and man, it's absolutely nuts. And taking a turn, it's almost impossible when it comes to that. You can do 180, but that's it. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.